I am Reed, I am 27, just an average dude. IV made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. So this is a topic that has been bouncing around in my head for a while now, and I figured it is time I actually sat down and got it out in full transparency. This is going to be a bit of a raw one. I don't have a strict script here, just some thoughts that I think a lot of us in our 20s need to hear. Because when you start getting into personal finance and building wealth and trying to figure out your career path and how you want your life to look, there is this question that comes up that a lot of people just skip right over. And that question is, why are we doing this? Like, what is the actual point? Everyone jumps straight to budgeting and cutting expenses and finding the best investment accounts. But nobody stops to ask, okay, what am I actually working toward here? What does success actually look like for me? And I think that is the most important question you can ask yourself before you even open a savings account. I've been sifting through financial YouTube for years now, watching all these different creators, reading all these different takes on how to build wealth, and I've noticed that there are really two types of people in this space. The first type, these are the people who seem genuinely at peace. They not flashing anything in your face. They not trying to impress you with a stack of cash or a garage full of supercars. They talk about building financial freedom so they can spend time with their family, so they can sleep well at night, so they can do the things they actually love without stressing about money. Those are the people I look up to. They have that calm energy about them. You can tell they not chasing anything. They already found what they looking for. And then there is the other half of YouTube. These are the people who come at you with the same formula every single time. Look at my car, look at my watch, look at my penthouse, look at how much money I made this year. So you should listen to me. They use the flashy stuff as a credibility play. And I get why it works. When you are 20 years old and you see some guy who is 25 driving a Lamborghini and wearing a $60,000 watch, your brain goes, hey, this guy must know what he is doing. I should do what he does. But here's the thing I've realized after being around that world a bit. The flash is a mask, and I think deep down, a lot of us know that, but we don't want to admit it because the fantasy feels good. I have a lot of friends in my age group, guys in their mid-20s who are obsessed with becoming millionaires. And I am that friend who always asks the uncomfortable question. I'll be like, okay, that is awesome, man. I love that you have that goal, but why do you actually want to be a millionaire? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is something like, so I can buy this car, or so I can get this watch, or so I can live in this neighborhood. It is always about the stuff. And I am not judging because I used to think exactly the same way, but I started to ask myself, does that actually make you happy? Like, really, because I've seen enough to know that the answer is usually no. Let me tell you a story that completely shifted my perspective on this. About 6 months ago, I reached out to a buddy of mine. He is an automotive detailer. I mean, he is legitimately the best I've ever seen. The guy has contracts with dealerships that deal with the really high-end stuff. We talking Porsche, McLaren, Ferrari. These dealerships trust him with cars that cost more than most people's houses. So I hit him up and I said, dude, I love cars. Sign me up if you need help. I am there. He said, meet me tomorrow. I'll hire you. It was cheap money, but it was money I could make on the side, so I was down. I show up to this undisclosed location, and there are like 10 McLarens sitting there. I am talking 720s, 765 LT, a Senna. I was so excited. I was filming every single one. I was sitting in them taking pictures, sending them to my friends, telling them how crazy this was. I was like a kid in a candy store. Then we pull up to a spot near the Porsche dealership and we re-cleaning 911 GT3 RS, which is my absolute dream car. I've wanted a GT3 RS since I was old enough to know what a car was. And we re-cleaning Boxster Spider RS. Brand new cars, fully optioned out, absolutely insane spec cars. The first week I was there, I was losing my mind. I am cleaning my dream cars. I am cleaning these exotic machines. This is the best thing that has ever happened to me. But here is where it gets interesting. After about the 20th McLaren, something shifted. I stopped pulling out my phone. I stopped feeling that rush. It just became another car. And I remember thinking to myself, this is wild. I am standing next to a McLaren Senna, a car that cost over $1 million. And I am just like, yeah, it is another Senna. We even detailed Jeffree Star, S. McLaren Senna. The one with the Tiffany blue interior and Tiffany blue brakes on the black exterior. I cleaned that car. There was a 765 LT with full exposed blue carbon fiber. I did a few speed tails, and after 3 weeks of being surrounded by these cars, you just hit this wall where you are like, okay, it is just another car. I don't even want to clean this one. I've seen 400 of them this week. You lose all that emotional value, and then you realize this is literally just a car, same as a Toyota Camry is a car. They both get you from point A to point B, one just cost 10 times more to maintain. And here is the part that really got me. I remember cleaning this one McLaren that the dealership used to move parts back and forth between locations. It was a 2020 720s with 8,000 miles on it. 8,000 miles if you have a Toyota Camry with 8,000 miles. That thing is basically brand new. You could eat off the seats. This McLaren with 8,000 miles looked like it was about to fall apart. The leather was deteriorating, the Alcantara was trash, the paint was scratched up, and I am standing there thinking, bro, this car is worth more than my house, and it is falling apart after 8,000 miles. That is when it clicked for me. These cars are not built to last. They rebuilt to impress. They rebuilt to make people look at you. They not built to make you happy, and look, I am not saying I don't still want nice things. I absolutely do. My parents actually call me 5-star because I love 5-star things. I love nice restaurants. I love nice watches. I love cars. I love nice real estate. I get the appeal of luxury, but IV realized that for me personally, owning those things is not going to deliver the happiness I thought it would. I know myself, I am going to work hard enough to afford my 911 GT3 RS one day. That is a goal I have, but I also know that after about a week of owning it, I am going to be sitting in my garage looking at it thinking, okay, what is next? Because that is how it always goes. I had a BMW 340i that I built up. Big turbo, air suspension, fully built car. Once it was done, I was like, okay, what is next? I sold it and got a Tesla Model 3 Performance because I wanted something super fast off the line. After I did about 20 launch control starts, I was like, okay, what is next? There's always a next thing when you are chasing material validation. You are always chasing the next car, the next watch, the next upgrade, and it never ends. You buy the $60,000 watch, you wear it for a week, and then you see someone with a $70,000 watch, and suddenly yours doesn't feel special anymore. You buy the $500,000 car, and then you see someone with $1 million car, and you feel like you are falling behind. I see this pattern so much in the people around me. I see guys who are chasing this lifestyle, and you can just tell they not happy. They always looking for the next hit, the next purchase, the next thing they can show off to prove their worth, and it is never enough. They lost touch with what money actually means and what it can actually do for you. They turned wealth into a performance, and they re-performing for people who don't care. Or worse, they re-performing for people who are jealous of them and want to see them fail. Think about this for a second. We see it all the time with celebrities and athletes and millionaires. These guys have more money than they could ever spend in a lifetime, and they depressed. They on drugs. They have gambling addictions. They going through divorces. They miserable. And we look at that and we go, how is that possible? How can someone with that much money be that unhappy? And the answer is because they put the wrong things first. They built their foundation on material stuff instead of internal stuff. And material stuff cannot sustain you. It gives you a high for maybe 24 hours and then you crash and you need a bigger hit. It is like a drug. You build up a tolerance and then you need more and more just to feel the same way you felt the first time. And eventually nothing is enough. The reason I want financial freedom is not so I can buy things. It is so I can stop stressing. It is so I can provide for the people I love. It is so I can pay it forward. It is so I can wake up in the morning and not have that knot in my stomach because I am worried about money. This world is filled with enough stress and anxiety and fear-mongering. The last thing I need is my finances adding to that pile. I want to be financially stable so I can live a stress-free life and focus on the things that actually matter to me. And for me, those things are pretty simple. I find a lot of value in getting stronger physically, mentally, emotionally. I like solving problems. I really like working for the company I work for. They appreciate me. They challenge me. They tell me they value my work. That makes me happy. Traveling makes me happy. Creating new experiences makes me happy. But honestly, something as simple as sitting in my backyard under the sun by the pool, just chilling, that makes me happy too. I don't need crazy things to feel fulfilled. Family makes me happy. I want to have a family of my own one day and be able to provide for them and give them opportunities. That is a real goal. That is something that would actually make me feel fulfilled at the end of my life. There comes a point where you realize that life is not about stacking material wins, and I am not saying you shouldn't want nice things. I definitely want a nice house one day. I want my Porsche, I want a nice car, and a nice watch. But those are not the reasons I am on this financial journey. They bonuses. They not the foundation. The foundation is peace. The foundation is freedom. The foundation is being able to live life on your own terms without being controlled by money or the lack of it. And I feel like there are really two paths you can go down in life. You either realize that happiness comes from internal things, from growth in relationships and purpose and peace, or you stay on the path where you feel like you haven't proven your worth until you have all the material things that society tells you need. And I can tell you from experience, one of those paths leads to a much happier life than the other. When I was 20 years old, if you asked me what would make me happy, I would have said the most expensive car and the most expensive house and a closet full of designer clothes. I had absolutely no care for my emotional value or my mental health or my physical well-being. It was all about how much stuff I could accumulate. That was my definition of success. Now at 27, I would give you a completely different answer. Sure, I want nice things, but the main reason I want money is so I can stop stressing. It is so I can support the people around me. It is so I can pay it forward. It is so I can do things with my money that benefit other people, not just myself. And I'll be completely transparent with you guys. I told my girlfriend once when I was younger that if I was rich, I would never donate money. I swear to God, I said that. I was that guy. Now I have a completely different outlook. I wish I was rich enough to help a lot of people because I know that even $1,000 in someone's pocket could completely change their life, and I wish I could be the person who provides that. Obviously, you want to make sure it is going to the right place, but you get what I am saying. The purpose shifts when you stop chasing stuff and start chasing meaning. IV actually made less money in the past few years than I did earlier in my 20s, but I feel happier than I ever have, and I truly believe that is because I shifted my mindset. I stopped tying my self-worth to my bank account and my possessions. I started focusing on growth, on relationships, on becoming a better person even when nobody's watching. When 2025 started, I I wrote down a bunch of goals and taped them to my door so I see them every time I walk out. Those goals are about who I want to become, not just what I want to own. So if you are watching this and you are in your 20s and you feel that pull toward the flashy stuff, I get it. I was there. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to sit down with yourself and really think about your goals. Not the goals you think you should have, but the ones that would actually make you feel fulfilled. Daydream it. Picture yourself in that car or that house or wearing that watch, and then ask yourself, when I lay my head down on my pillow at night, am I actually going to be happy, or am I just going to be looking for the next thing? Because I can tell you right now, I will own a 911 GT3 RS one day. That is a goal I have, and I am going to get there. But I also know that it is not going to make me happy. It is going to give me a week of excitement, maybe a month. And then I am going to look at it and think, it is just a car. Same with the watch, same with the shoes. I am a huge sneakerhead. I have like 50 pairs of shoes on my shopping list right now. But if I bought all of them tomorrow, I could only wear one pair at a time. The rest would just sit in my room. They are not going to make me happy. I hope someone watches this and thinks to themselves, okay, maybe I don't need all the material stuff to be happy. Maybe I can focus on the things that actually matter, because that shift in thinking changed my life, and I think it can change yours too. If you can relate to any of this, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Peace.